Mike here. We're in southwestern Pennsylvania, Appalachia, about 2,200 feet or so. Cutting in some swales. This video isn't really about how to cut a swale, because I wouldn't be the person to ask. But it's also really not about the purpose of a swale, but I will say briefly, this is just to catch rain, catch runoff, sheet flow. We'll come across this ground here. It's not a huge slope, but I'm trying to keep all the water on the property. There's a road down there, and then there's a creek down below. I have about 2,400 feet of swale cut in so far this year. This is one that was done a few weeks ago, and it's been a very dry year, so I haven't really had a chance to get it all seeded in. There was some mustard stuff growing in there, but really not a whole hell of a lot. Then there's 4 here total. There's 3 in the image right now. These 2 in the middle I just cut yesterday. It's about 900 feet total, the 2 of them. And the reason I'm doing this video is just to show what a small piece of equipment can do, because I've seen a lot of videos. Some people cut really small ones by hand. I've seen the use of a bobcat by Mark Shepard, and I've seen really large tractors. Seen a few people talk about using a blade, back blade, or I've even heard about like using a box blade or something like that. I'm just using a rear blade here. This is a Everything Attachments 5-foot wide blade. Very, very happy with it. I'm not just trying to promote them. Screw it, I'm trying to promote them. These is a really good company. Very, very pleased with the quality of this thing. It's a 6-way blade, so it's got all the movements like a dozer would have. You can spin it around 360, you can rotate it, you can tilt it 15 or 30 degrees in both directions or flat, and then you can offset it here. So as opposed to some older blades, you would offset the blade, you have to unbolt or unpin. This is kind of sweet because this whole arm just pivots back and forth. Haven't made a lot of use out of that particular feature, especially not for this application here, because it'll pull your ass all over the place. But the technique that I've come up with so far, I use a rotary laser level to find my contour. I started from a high point up there, and this particular one here, that's maybe 350 feet long. It's a it's a 0.5% slope. It's almost non-existent. But when it does rain, there is definitely a accumulation of water down on that end, more than the upper end. I just mark it out with flags, and then I go through with the blade. I might tilt the blade real sharp to one side and angle it, and it's kind of like a plow, a really shitty plow. I kind of wish I had a plow to try for this, but this is the only reason I would even use it, so it didn't make any sense to buy one. But anyway, that marks the line, and then I might go back and forth with the blade. It's turned around right now. That's just for kind of smoothing things out, and then just kind of cut a V-notch. As much as I would like to push all the dirt up onto a mound like that, that's just not really going to work with probably any blade, really, but particularly with the size of tractor I have. This is a lot of dirt that I moved. It's not a small swale. It's a good sized berm there. So what I pretty much have to do is just go back and forth, and might loosen up the ground a little bit and widen the V, and then I just hit it with the bucket and just drive straight in and cut it and then dump it. And I'll probably do that at least twice for any pass. So, 5-foot wide here, do it twice, 5-foot wide, do it twice. It takes a while. It really takes a long time. But I'm planning on having these berms and swales for the rest of my life. These are gonna get trees and stuff planted in them in the spring. Butternut trees, hazelnut trees, apple, pear, get some black locust and stuff growing in there. Plus a lot of smaller bushes, shrubs, things of that nature. So it's a 5-foot wide bucket. This is the larger bucket for this size tractor. This is a B2601, by the way. A slightly larger tractor would definitely be better for this. Something like a 35 or 38 horsepower would be fantastic, but I would not trade this for an older non-hydrostatic tractor, just because it's a lot of movements, it's a lot of running around. Like I said, with the blade here, it comes in handy for starting this project. It's also enough counterweight for the most part for the loader operations. And once I'm done with all the loader dumping there, you know, just really cutting it in, as much as I try to do a really good job of keeping things smooth and even, you're inevitably going to have some high and low points there. So I use the blade, angle it slightly, run it back and forth at different angles, you know, to you know, go left to right at one angle, go right to left with another angle, or whatever, and just to really try to average things out. If got to be really careful, because that sucker will dig in, will suck itself down in the ground. And then inevitably I'm going to have some excess dirt, kind of a windrow of dirt, so I got to run back and forth with a bucket a few times, clean that up. I might use that in some of the low spots if I had a low spot in my berm, or particularly down at the end. I'm going to have an accumulation of water, a little bit of a pond down there. So I kind of like to cap the end a little bit, and I've noticed with the other swales that was a good idea. Then once I'm done, the first couple times I did this, I really fucked it up good, because I just kept gouging it, and then I have to go back and forth and fix it. It really sucked. So I learned to it's kind of like doing drywall or something like that, you know, just less is more. Just you can always go back and fix it later. Just stop screwing with it. So what I do is try to go back and forth lightly. Important thing is do a cleaner job with the loader, and then eventually I just spin the blade around like that, and since it won't dig in at that point, and I'm just moving material around and just taking it from loose dirt and filling in some of the low spots. Yeah, granted, I would like to keep as much dirt out of that swale as possible. That's the whole purpose of cutting it, but it's also nice probably have a little bit of loose material there too. Otherwise, it's just this hard scraped, you know, clay-like material. It's just going to sheet water off. So it's going to be harder to get anything to seed into that. So, like I said, I got about 2,400 feet of this. I'm pretty pleased so far. Gonna get some trees ordered. And the very last operation, which I'm doing right now, is just taking the high berm there, and just I'm on the downhill side here, and just back dragging and flattening the top there a little bit, so I'll have a nicer area to plant. Also applying a light down pressure as I scrape, just so there's not so many voids, so this ground doesn't dry out too quickly. But it should be a nice deep berm to plant a lot of stuff into. So yeah, again, B2601 Kubota worked out pretty well. And this is the Everything Attachment 6-way blade, 5 foot. They're a little backed up right now as far as ordering stuff. From what I understand, I got really lucky getting this thing in. They told me it was going to be like 6 weeks, and it was like 6 days. So really super lucky, but definitely recommend the blade. We've got a nice pick point there. It's balanced. You can pick this thing up, move it around. Very nice, you know, kickstand there. Heavy duty. We got like 1/2 inch, 3/8 construction almost everywhere. Nice, nice backbone there on the blade, or the board or whatever. Very, very happy. I think everything's laser cut and stuff. It's super easy to hook up. Most blades probably are, just by their very nature. But yeah, cool stuff. So yeah, Swales. Thanks for watching.